focusing on one company together as a team as we came in on live to be able to see our levels trade out for us at what we want to see through our stage 1, stage 2, stage 3 through to stage 4. This week, we have a huge week coming up with FOMC. With FOMC, we understand that what we like to look at is where do they have us to put us in place to tell us if we're going higher or if we're going lower. And one thing on FOMC week, what we like to do is we like to already be in position from a bottom or a top. So when that news hits, we're already in it, being able to take that swing all the way through. For day trades, what we look at and what we understand is the 1 hour time frame. We love to look at that 20 MA on that 1 hour time frame. If we want to come down to a support, we love to hold that 20 MA and then take off and have a rocket to the upside when we do see that. So today what I'll be doing is taking about 10 to 15 minutes for this sermon this morning to be able to just look over Bank of America, look over some companies that we looked at last week as Lyft, Mara, AMD, NVIDIA, SPY, SQQ, Apple, Meta, the core 8 of what we normally talk about. And after this sermon, what we can do is have people go back into the chat and have it set up for what you may want to talk about to see what is it that you're actually looking at coming into. One thing that I know many of us want to see is SPY get rejected in these 390 zones to come back to the 360 zone. But one thing that I do know and understand is when the government gives us a bailout, when Warren Buffett is talking to banks about buying now that they're at their lows of the year, one thing that I do know is a bounce could happen. A bounce could happen. We did get that rejection at that 418, and we can see ourselves come back. So what I will be doing right now is diving into the information that we're going to be going over this week. We got to see in the last 2 weeks that the banks have cradled with some of the news. We got a bear flag to finish out the week on Bank of America. Last week at Bank of America at this 2780, we went long to the top. When we got to the top, we went ahead and sold our money off this bear flag. What we're doing now is going to be looking to see if this double bottom wants to hold us here at this 2762 to put us back into perspective to say this is our buy zone throughout this week, to see if we're going to come back, or do they allow us to keep falling down to our next supports that we see. Do we want to fall back down to our supports? Right now, we understand that we are at a true support. So now off this bear flag, do we want to continuously come down on this bear flag? We understand that we're in a stage 4 currently. We're in a stage 4 on our daily candles on Bank of America. So now we want to see, where does this stage 4 want to build this support? Is this 2782 going to be our true support? Or do we want to fail to 2782 to get a little bit lower than what we see? We will, this week, we'll be planning how we need to, be looking at the supports for what we need, and be looking to see if these supports want to take us back up to the levels of the $30 before we continue to fall to 26. So this week, what we'll be looking for, do we want to fall down a little bit below the 2762 to get down to the next range of this 2679, or do we hold at this 2782 to come back and retake this weekly, this daily 5, which is at 2851, to see if we can stay above, to see if we can come back to the daily 10. If we do want to hold these bottoms, these are the areas you want to go long. As you understand, Bank of America, if you looked at tilt ranks, you looked at any of these companies, or just came back to the charts, you see that we came up to 48 prior. So 48 from this 27 preferably gives you 40% on your money on commons. If we wanted to sit through the commons for a swing to be able to get back to that level, we don't know how long it will take to get back to that level, but what we do know at these levels here, it does gives us a good buy opportunity. So what we want to see, do we want to hold this true support right here at this 27.50 and above, or do we want to fail 27.82 and actually come below it? So we'll be taking our time just like we did on Lyft last week. We identified Lyft early at the 9.82. We allowed her to come all the way down to 8.18, and we bought up the bottom to put ourselves in position. So now what we'll go from Bank of America, we'll move over to Lyft right now. We still currently are in our Lyft swings. We're in swings all the way up until May and June. We took them out for the end of the month. We also took them out for April. We also took it out to May and June. So last week we did, before we even got here, what we did, when we got to 9.82, we told us to put our eyes on it. We waited with some patience. What we do, waited with patience, as you see, our buy zone and our support zone to be able to take ourselves in a position. This was the lows of the year, not only lows of the year, but lows of its history. So what do we do at lows of its life existence? We take an opportunity because this gives us a 70-30. What did we see around here? We've seen every time it got around this 820 to 825, it did not want to fail. So what it told us, we was creating a box to tell us it was our buy time to start working to put ourselves in position to go to the upside. So right now, what we're doing, we're sitting in freebies when we're just looking to see if we're going to break our weekly target to the upside to keep pushing back to our zones of what we just fell from, or does the weekly 5 that we're looking at, right? Does this weekly 5 want to play as a resistance coming out during this week? Weekly 5, we coming out to it this week at 10.07. As long as we hold this 10.07, we're looking to go to our next target of the daily. I believe this is our daily 5, if I'm not mistaken, or the monthly 5. Let me check it out. Monthly 5 is what we'll be looking to go to. Now, if we break over our monthly 5, the next target will be up to the 12.82. Why did we buy Lyft at this bottom last week on our daily? We had a crazy low RSI below 30. I told you guys this last week. We're below 30. It's time to bury with inside. Now that we've buried it, now we want to sit with patience to see how does this swing want to give us back to our zones. It's already from 8 to 10. Well, we entered at 820s. We're already up 18% on the commons. We're already up over 200% on the March 24th $9 calls. We're up great on the April 6th $10 calls. We're up great on the 9.50 for May and June. So right now we're sitting in great standings, being in Lyft, being that we bought them at the bottom. Now we're swinging them to the top to see how we want to blow through these areas we just fell from. That's Lyft. Mara, when we got tomorrow at the 512, we told you BTC came down to 19K. When BTC came to 19K, that was our bottom for Mara as well. What did we do? What did we want to see? Because our RSI was low, because the RSI was in the 30s, it told us this is our buy range. When we got to our buy range, what else did it tell us? Okay, last time we came here, when we fell to the $3, where did we fall from? Right? Boom, right from this level is right where we got rejected last time. So what we told ourselves when we got back to this level of support, we want to see ourselves buy it up again. From this buy now, buying your comments for a swing for the target that we were looking for this 957. Look, we're already back on these commons. We're already back over 30+%. Over 30% on these commons. Not only on the commons, on our options, we've done an amazing job sitting in freebies. Now we want to see what's our next level. What we know with BTC, 27 that 27.7 is a big resistance on BTC. So we want to see, how do we want to come back, or how do we want to go through? We got a hangman right here on Mara. So we're going to be looking to see, how does this Mara want to play as a resistance, that we're up at this zone. So now that we're up at this zone, we want to see, does this 850 want to play as a true resistance? Because as we see, 850 prior gave us resistances. 850 prior gave us resistances. So if we see BTC want to pull back from this zone, we know that Mara truly wants to pull back. We'll be looking for her to come back down to our next targets to the downside to see if this is where she wants to hold to keep us going, if BTC wants to keep going as well. But we bought a great position. So this week we want to see what supports will be, to see if these supports will take us higher into our zones of our next exhaustion zone. On a daily, as we see, we're going to be looking to come back up to this 957 if BTC wants to continuously rolling. We have a 200 above us as well. Last week, as you've seen, this was our zone to be able to keep us. Now that we did that last week, you'll see me do this. Put a new zone. Why will I put a new zone? Because I understand we already broke into this zone. So what do we do from here? Boom. Now we wait and we see what our supports will do for us to take us to this next level. My bad, Brody. Alex, I ain't got nobody on with me today. As we see the weekly, look at this bull flag on our week on Mara. So we had a hell of a week last week. So what we want to do, we want to see if this week is going to give us a bottom down anywhere to this, anywhere down to 743. If it can, well, as we see this 743 played as a support, could play as a support for us across. Where do we have another level? Boom. We have another level right here at the 730. So if we hold above that this week, we want to see if this week's candle wants to continue to come back into our zone to get us back to the next resistance. Let's go to SPY. SPY. Ever since SPY hit this 416, 418 level for us, we've been looking for SPY to come down on this on a downtrend to give us a stage 3. Now that we got that stage 3, we see that on our weekly time frames, we finally found a new bottom. Now that we found this bottom, we want to see if we're sturdy from this level to be able to push ourselves back up to keep coming to our trend. One thing that we see right now, we're going to be looking to see if Monday wants to bring us back to a support to see if we want to hold above this 388. If we hold above this 388, we'll be looking for our next target to see ourselves get back to that daily 20. If we hold a daily 20, we're looking to see if we can break through 398.50 to see if FOMC is going to take us up and through these next levels to the high. My mindset, if we can't get over 398 and hold the 20, because we came to this level and because we got all this crazy information, we could see some pullbacks. So levels that I'm looking for this week, obviously we see on a daily, last week we had 380 all the way up to this 390, 394.60. So now that we got up to the 394.60, we want to see if we're going to reclaim this 20 MA. Want to see if we're going to reclaim the 20 MA. On Friday, we came down to hold the 200 and the 5 MA on our daily. On this weekly, as we see, 393 is our weekly 20. So we'll be looking to see if we're going to come back and reclaim the weekly 20 to see where we are, to be able to see if we can reclaim 393 to get an uptrend above. We also have 395 above us to see if we want to hold the weekly trend to the upside. So right now on the weekly candles, we understand that we're still in the stage one, looking for a stage two to see if we can hold above the 93.74 to put ourselves in a weekly trend to the upside. If we cannot break back to the 393.74, we understand that we're still in the stage four, looking for the next positions to put ourselves in for the next trades. SQQ, we came down to a great level on SQQ on our dailies. We came back to that 33 zone. 33 last time popped us right out of here, right? Popped us right out of this zone. So now what we're looking for, we know we're in a stage one on this body of work on SQQ. Now we want to see where we come out. Do we want to hold above? Do we want to hold above this 33.82? If we can hold above 33.82, can we reclaim the 34.50 to push ourselves back out of our support zone to get back to the daily 5 at 36.62? So if we hold above 388.82, break out of the 35.15, we'll be looking to see if we can come back to our daily 5 to get ourselves out of our support system. From February to March, this low key would be like a double bottom on our daily candles, even though we didn't get all the way to the bottom. So tomorrow on Monday, we'll be looking to see if we're going to get a wick to the bottom, to see if we're going to get a body back up through 36.15. And if we do get a body back through 36.15, we're going to be looking to see if we can hold above our daily 5 to be able to get back in the uptrend to reclaim the daily 20. If we do not, right? If we do not cross the level of this 36.15 and get bullish, we'll be looking to come back to the 32.20 to see if we want to get lower. 32.20 has been our lows of the year. Last year, I believe the lows were 26, if I'm not mistaken, 28. So if we did want to fail to come back on a bear flag, and let's just say that the economy wanted to push us up, we'll be looking to see if we can come down to these next supports. If we did want to fail at this 31 first, if we couldn't hold 31, go back down to the 29 to the 28. For me personally, I'm looking to see if SQQ is going to hold this bottom to start edging ourselves back up to try to get back to the upside. The reason I'm saying that is because we understand that NVIDIA, as we look at NVIDIA, we look at companies that are up under SPY, we understand that we've had an amazing run from October, like in NVIDIA. As we see NVIDIA 108 from our October time, we're still sitting in our comments on NVIDIA. We bought at 109, we bought at 112, and we bought at 118, right? So what do we understand? We said we was coming up, looking to see if ourselves can get up to 362.50, 363. We got that. We came back to that 257 over here. We understood that that was a mark for us. Now that we're at this 257, we want to see if we're going to come back to the supports of the 247. And then from this 247, we want to see what FOMC wants to do with it. Does it want to pop us off of these supports to take us back to a higher zone, right? So one thing that we do know, we still in the stage 2. We're still in the stage 2 on our daily candles. We're still in the stage 2 on our weekly candles on the video as well. So now we want to see on our weekly, we got a pull down, we got a pop. Now on our weekly, where do we want to go on our weekly? That we want to get another resistance, right? Another resistance on our RSI. On our RSI, we held a support when we came down last week at 67, popped back. Now we want to see how do we want to come out in the week to see how we want to hold this uptrend and stay to the upside. So this week at this 257, I don't know where we will be coming out tomorrow, but I will be looking to see how this 247 to 250 want to hold supports. for us? The 245 range, right? We want to see if 245 want to bounce us, or do we want to fail this level to come back? So we're already looking. Resistance up here. We already got some resistance. Now, if we want to come back and reclaim this area, we'll be looking to see how much do we want to come in this area. What do we also have down here? We have a great level on the video. That's key supports. I know many of us want to see this thing come on down. I'm waiting for it. So what we will be doing was playing this thing very patient to see how it wants to be able to put us in position. Boom. That's on my video. So on AMD last week, we talked about that 85.75 to give us a target of that monthly 20. Now that we got it, now we want to see how do we want to come out on this monthly candle to see how we can stay above the 96. The 96 on our monthly candle. Check us out on AMD. AMD, one thing that we know, that 96 is our monthly 20. What did the monthly 20 do for us at 418 on SPY? It rejected us hard and gave us a pullback. So we're going to be looking to see, does this 98 to 97 want to be an exhaustion zone? So we want to fail our monthly 20 at this 96 to tell us that we want to have some type of pullback now within this monthly candle. If we hold above the 96, my next target is going back to this zone of what we see prior, right here at this 102, right there at that 102, right where you see I have my price level. But if I fail my 96, I'm looking to come right back down to my support of to see how we can fail this 95.84. From this 95.84, I want to come down to the 93.26. 93.26 wants to fail. We want to go right back into those next zones of where we just came from. And on our weekly, as we see on the weekly, as you can see on my weekly, 120, this 120.94, 94, this one at this 120 on the weekly is 94.12. So we'll be looking to see if we can hold this weekly 120 as well at 94.12. We also have a daily 10 right in this 90 zone. Daily 5 at 90.72. Let me see. I see it's a couple. Boom. So as I'm doing this, I'm just looking to see how I can get through my process. This 90, we can see this is our daily 5. So coming into this week, we'll be having our eyes set on that daily 5 to see if we can come down to this daily 5 if we fail the monthly 20 at that 96 range. So that's my AMD. Let me move over to Meta. Meta, we got at 205 resistance. Now at this 205 resistance, we want to see, does Meta want to pull back to our, obviously it's right above that daily 5. Now, how do we want to hold this daily 5? Do we want to hold this daily 5 and get above this 96 and stay up to the upside? Or do we want to pull back down? Daily 5 tells us if we hold above 194.64. We're still in the trend to the upside to see if we want to go back to that 196 resistance that we had prior, which is right here, as we can see, where we took our puts last time. On Meta, we see that Meta has ran all the way from 88 back in November, all the way up to our 205. This is an amazing swing from your comments, right? This is amazing swing from your comments. Aubrey, what's up? How you doing? I didn't invite nobody today just because I was just doing it on my own. I see you pop in, so I just let you come through. This is so as we see on Meta, we got the rejection on our RSI right here. Now we're going to be looking to see how it wants to hold the support as it comes down to the daily 5. On our weekly, we see that this weekly, we got on our weekly candles, we're above the weekly 5, we're above the weekly 20. So we're in the uptrend on the weekly candles. Now with this FOMC coming, we want to see if this is going to be our true exhaustion zone. 215 is our monthly 20. So anything is possible with this FOMC coming. As you see I put this monthly 20 up here. So if we did want to hold this 195, 196 to get aggressive to come back to the upside on Meta. So targets this week for Meta for the upside, possibly if we can hold 195, 96, we can go right back to that target of what we seen last week. And then if we want to get to the monthly 20, that top target would be 215 to 216. To the low side, if we want to fail that weekly or that daily 5, we'll be looking to come down to that 188. Go to our Google friend. So on Google, as we see on Google, this is a beautiful setup on your monthly on Google. So on your monthly candles, what you can realize on your monthly candles from Google, we never ever failed that 188. So every time on the monthly that you got to 188, you realize what you had to do. The only thing that you had to do on this monthly candle is go long every time you came to 88. No. Only thing you had to do was go long. Now that we went long, we want to see if we can hold above this monthly 10. And if we can hold above this monthly 10, we're looking to possibly come back up high as this 109 to 110 target that we see on this monthly. This is what we fell from when we actually fell out of this zone. On our weekly candles. On our weekly candles, what we see that we have above us, right? We see that we have this 50 on the weekly. This 50 on the weekly. So if we can get over this 50 on the weekly and actually hold above 104, we're looking for that level that we just spoke about. Well, let's make this a little bit bigger so we know that this is a mark.
No, I'm not. My laptop doesn't want me to see your screen. That's why I'm trying to keep it on.
Okay. Right now, this is even on the weekly, this is a nice bull flag. We're in the stage 2 on everything that we're looking at currently. On Meta, Google. Oh, I'm sorry. Meta, Google. Even on our dailies, as we can see, this is a beautiful uptrend. Prices have crossed long-term bullish. That's what it says. Long-term bullish on Then it says short-term bullish. So one thing that we're looking for, we understand that we came to resistances on Friday. Doesn't mean that these resistances are going to keep us down to the bottom. What we have right here on the daily, we have a daily 200, 102.39. We're going to be looking to see how does 102.39 do for us coming out. And this is a daily 200. Daily 200. So we're looking to see how does that daily 200 do for us. What just happened there? Perfect. The daily 200. Got that daily 5. So for your daily 5, make this nice size. Boom. So we already know we're in the trend to the upside. On our daily, this is a beautiful bull flag, a beautiful bull flag on Google. So now that we came to our resistances, we want to see what these supports shall be. Shall the support of this week be 99.93 to bring us back and up and over what we seen last week on Google. So my targets this week, if we wanted to hold above our monthly 10, if we want to hold above our monthly 10, what I'm looking for us to go back up to that upside to see if we can hold above the daily 200. If we can hold above daily 200, we're looking to go back up to the upside to break last week highs. If we cannot hold the daily 200, we're looking to come back down to the monthly 10. From the monthly 10, we're looking to see if we're going to come back to 99 to 98. Amazon. Amazon is another great one. Amazon gave us a great buy from our stage 1 position when we just hit the 88 from last week. Now that we're in the uptrend, we're in the stage 2 uptrend. We're looking to see how do we want to hold, right? How do we want to hold over this 120 at 98.28? How do we want to hold? So do we want to come back to this support and hold above this 97.50, get another red candle? Then on FOMC, do we want to get bullish to see ourselves pop back to that 105? These are things that we could see. We know that we're in the stage 2. So being that we're in the stage 2, long as we hold above, and if we do want to continue, we'll see ourselves come back to the resistances that we failed just a month ago. Weekly uptrend, nice on this weekly uptrend. And on the week, as we see, we have a level right here. We have a level on our weekly at 111.29. For a 50 MA. MA? 50 MA on our week. And then we have the weekly 5 and the weekly 10 stacked up right above each other. Right, Amazon. Amazon, AMD. Forgot Apple and Tesla. It's the next two I'll do, Apple and Tesla. So let's check out Apple. Obviously, Apple stage one. We're in our stage two right now on Apple. We're in the stage two on most of all our companies. Now what we want to see, Apple at this 157 usually gets rejected. We did get that rejection. So coming out this week, we're going to be looking to see if we can push over in the top of this 157 to get a little bit higher on Apple. If we wanted to come out and stay bullish, if we want to come out and look like BTC and get a little bit stronger, we're going to be looking to go up just like last week. Anywhere from 154 to 155, we'll be looking to see if it wants to hold support to take us up to those next zones. On the weekly, we're in the stage two. On the daily, we're in the stage two. Right? And on our monthly, we're also right in the stage two at 153.24. So just like last week, that level of what we want to see was going to hold was at 153.24. If we can hold above 153.24, we understand that on this weekly candle, we're still in the uptrend to see for Apple to come up a little bit more to see how far we want to go to the upside. Tesla. Over here looking at Tesla. This is on the monthly candle. Tesla right now, we're looking to see, long as we hold above our monthly 5, all right? Long as we can hold above the monthly 5 at 175.39, that tells us that on the month, we still want to push to the upside. We still want to push to the upside. We're not on the stage 2 in our monthly on Tesla. We're in the stage 1 currently. And on our weekly, we are in a stage 2 above the 171.36. Now we're looking to see if we can break back above 191.31 to put us back in a trend to the upside on this weekly candle. From the level we are at right now, we know that this 180 can play to the upside, or it can play us back to the downside. So right now, what we're going to be doing, since we got a moderate bullish candle already last week, we're going to be seeing if we can hold, right? If we can hold, let's check this out. We're going to say, hold on. The weekly, we're going to be looking to see if we can hold this weekly 200. Weekly 200. This weekly 200, not only the weekly 200, but also the weekly 120. I mean, the weekly 20. That tells us that we stay in the uptrend on the week. Last week we held it, so it told us that we're already in the uptrend on the weekly candles. We got a moderate bullish candle. Now we'll be looking to see if we get another bullish candle to come out and reclaim the 191 this week. And our daily must be at 191 as well on the 20. Yep, our daily is at 191 as well on the 20. So we'll be looking to see how do we want to come back to that daily 20 on Tesla. Long as we can hold above 175 for the week, we're looking to see if ourselves can go up and over to our next level. We'll be coming out at the daily the daily 10. So long as we can hold above the daily 10, we're looking to go back to these zones to the upside, to the next level, to the upside. Add some resistances. Now that we're coming down to the supports, we want to see how these supports want to react to us to see if they want to push us up to the upside, or do they want to bring us back down to what we break back down lower than the low of last week. Carter sent me CVS. Carter sent me CVS this week. CVS, I've never done it myself personally, but what do we see on CVS? It's been in a stage 4 decline, right? It's been in a stage 4 decline. Now that it's been on the stage 4 decline, we want to see how does it want to hold supports from back in 2021. So this level right here, this was a gap back in the day. So they had a gap from 74 up to 75. We already broke into that. So boom. So now what we're looking at, what we'll be looking to see, does CVS want to come back and reclaim this daily 5, or do we want to do like Lyft did last week? Push down a little bit more to see if we want to get a little bit better on that support, but we can identify to be able to tell ourselves, CVS, we understand that CVS once upon a time had a high of 108. So down here at this specific range, what are we looking at? Long-term bearish indicator on CVS. That's what it's telling us. So, and that's on a weekly candle. So what we want to see is all about that 75.08. Can we break above 75.08? If we don't, we're looking to come back down to those more of those 2021 levels. As we can see. And on our monthly, we have right up under us the monthly 50 at 73.50. So that's a key support to us to tell us if we're going to stay on this month to keep on holding, or we're going to keep on filling in the stage 4 on this monthly candle. Right now, we are in the monthly, we are in a stage 4. So we're looking to see if we can build a stage 1 to give ourselves a true support to start building a box at this bottom to tell ourselves we're going to get back up to the upside from these levels. One of our friends, Run. Last week we talked about Run trying to come over this $19. If we couldn't get over this $19, we were looking to see it turn back to the downside and see how much lower did we want to come on Run. So right now we see that Run is in a stage 4 decline on the monthly candles. We see that Run is on the stage 4 decline on the daily candles. And also on the weekly. On the weekly, it's telling us in 44 weeks, Run can possibly come all the way back down to 7,950. So one thing this week we want to tell ourselves, right here at this level of 1850, we want to see if we can stay below 1850. And if we can stay below 1850, we're looking to take ourselves for a long back to the downside, because we understand it has a long-term bearish sentiment on Run. So anytime it comes to the resistance, we're looking to play Run back to the downside. Snow. Y'all know how I love Snow. Y'all know how we love Snow. Snow gave us a moderate bullish candle last week with us touching the MA5. So what we be doing this week? Long as we can hold above 134, right? As long as we can hold above 134, 135, we're going to be looking to see if we can get a wick in our buy zone to take us up and over above to get back to this weekly 5 and this weekly 20. Right? So this is one thing that we'll be looking for. We'll be looking to see if we can get back to these zones. If we wanted to get up to these zones and see ourselves reject, we can look for ourselves to come right back down to the lows that we came from prior. One thing that I want to do this week, come in and focus on 1 or 2 trades, 1 or 2 companies. Exercise those 1 or 2 companies to put ourselves in the best position to actually see what it is that we want to see. I think this is, and then Airbnb friend. I love me some Airbnb. Airbnb last week on my weekly gave me a support at my 110, my 111, was able to hold my 50, get me over my my weekly 10. So now that we have this, I want to see, because we rejected, how do we want to come back and see if we can hold 115 to 116 to see if this level wants to break us back over the 119 to 122 to get us up and through our daily 20 this week. So on Airbnb, what I'll be looking for this week is to see if we can hold 115 to 116 to keep us in the uptrend to get us back over this 122 to 24. If we cannot hold the 115, I'll be looking to come right back down to the levels of what we came to last week. Man, this is a short, sweet one today. Hope you guys have an amazing Sunday. I'll be dropping this video real soon for you guys so you can go over. But tonight, if you guys want, come into the chat and let's talk about the plans of what you have to the top and the bottom based off of what we've said today on this Sunday sermon. Y'all have a blessed one. Not y'all, but Aubrey, you have a blessed one. Bay, you have a blessed one. And we out of here this Sunday morning.